So, Coach, it's been a great season. Last night, you get the win over Shippensburg. What did you take away from the game, and what did that win mean for the program as is your first in the PSAC tournament?
Yeah, it's when I just look back, since we joined the PSAC, it's been an adjustment. I think we joined that PSAC our first season in the league was the 1920 season, and then COVID hits, and we don't have a season. And then the 21-22 season was just like such a disaster from an injury standpoint, and guys missing COVID, and it just was a really just long, grueling year that just like we weren't going to make any headway with just the injuries and the issues with COVID that year. And 22-23 in the league was like really a heartbreaking year for us because we had lost on the last second shot 2 times to Westchester. We gave away the Lock Haven game that year, and that was the year I thought we could really kind of take a step forward. But those close games hurt us, and and then last season again, kind of got the injury bug. Like when we lost to Aiden Jugley last year, that was a blow to us that it really hurt us. So the biggest thing for me this year was just like I was praying that we would stay healthy. We added some nice pieces to this year's team, and just praying that we stay healthy. And we made it through the year, relatively healthy. No one missed any time, so that was a big thing. And I think that went a long way to really helping us take this step in the league. It's been a long process, but I think it's definitely been rewarding to sit here where we are now, and just like the program's in a really good place as well. Just because we lose some like high quality seniors, but we have a lot of young guys that I'm really excited about in the future and watching their development. And so just feel like we're in a really good place right now.
Coach, I think a lot of people are going to point to Chase Parr as a big part of the improvement this year. What has he really brought to the program? Obviously, in my mind, he should run away with any Defensive Player of the Year award for the conference. But his basketball IQ really sticks out to me when watching the team. What does he bring? What has he brought to the team this year at bringing him over from Towson?
Yeah, I think it's just, Chase is a really skilled player, and I don't think he really had a chance to show that at Towson. And I think that's been one thing at Shepherd, in just today's game, with big guys that can play on the perimeter and pass the ball from the perimeter and shoot the 3 ball. And, he was never allowed to do that type of stuff at Towson. And so for him to be able to do that here, I think it really kind of showed just what his IQ is like. We talked a lot about him. I think this year he only attempted about 25 threes. I was hoping he maybe attempted a little bit more just to kind of show his skill set. But I think it's one of those things that he's going to continue to get more comfortable with as his career progresses, because he's definitely going to play professionally, overseas for sure to start. And I think he'll only continue to get better. But I think one thing that what people probably, don't notice as much because it's not in the box score is just how good he is in drop coverage. His size in drop, he's a presence to when guards come off, and it just allows us to do a lot of different things now when we can get over the top of the ball screen and trail, and then that guard has got, Chase in front of him, a guard behind him. But then also, too, if the guard dumps it off to the big guy, Chase is so good at recovering there. I mean, he's definitely the best guy that I've ever coached in drop coverage, and it's something we're going to miss a lot. But, just him being here, like I learned a lot about drop coverage, and, it's going to be something that we'll be able to continue to do moving forward and what we teach our guys. But I think just that presence defense, I agree with you. I think he should be the defensive player of the year this year. And so we'll see what happens. But, I think the other thing that you have to talk about with Chase is that he is such a great teammate. Like I said, we have a number of young guys on our team, and, young guys make mistakes. And, sometimes it can be frustrating, and their development takes a little bit longer. But Chase has been so patient with them. He's so encouraging to them. He's formed great relationships with everybody on our team in just a year's time. I think that's another thing that people just don't see of how great a teammate he is. And that's going to be, again, something that's going to be, a huge trait, like a huge strength of his moving forward in his professional career after Shepherd.
Coach Namolik, Colin here. You mentioned just the 3-point shooting. and that's where I want to go because last night it was raining down threes. You guys were playing some Missoula ball out there, it looked like, with the 17 of 35 from beyond the three-point line. Just talk a little bit about your shooting performance from the outside range last night in that win against Ship.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think this is the second game in a row now where we just come out blazing hot. At Millersville on Saturday, we came out blazing hot, making shots. Again, it just carried over to last night, blazing hot, coming out. For us, for me, I get really excited about that because, definitely our strength all year has been our defense. Offensively, we've struggled at times. There's a number of reasons for that, but sometimes I feel like, over the course of the season, we've gotten some good looks. We just haven't consistently make them. So, when we come out hot and when we shoot well, I get really excited about our chances here in the rest of this tournament because we know we're good enough defensively to win basketball games. So if we're shooting the three ball at a high clip, I think it's going to make us really tough to beat.
And, Coach, your team, you mentioned the defensive mindset and kind of that being the strength of the team all year. With that being your team strength, I guess, what do you kind of credit that to?
Yeah, I think, I spoke about, Chase being in drop coverage, but, I feel like, Marcus Banks as a defender, he's the head of our defense going against, the point guards in this league, and he's strong. He's got length. He has a great knack for getting deflections. So now when you have Marcus guarding a point guard and Chase in drop coverage, we're able to guard that ball screen with two guys. We don't have to help off a lot, and that's a huge strength. But the other guy that's been just tremendous for us defensively has been Gerard Robinson. All year, he has guarded the other team's best, either shooting guard or wing player. And he has done a tremendous job all year, and he has stifled a number of guys this year. A lot of our concepts that we do, he's been really excelling at. Just trailing screens, being there, being constantly a presence in a guy's face, not getting beat off the bounce, So those three guys have definitely been the core of our defense, and I think a big reason why we've been so good this year defensively.
I want to follow up on talking about Marcus Banks there on the other end of the floor. Obviously, him being the starting point guard on the offensive end as well, just as a sophomore, him being behind Philip Jordan last year, and then Philip Jordan as a freshman was able to get some experience behind Thomas Lang. What has it meant for Marcus Banks to be able to get that experience early on, and now as a sophomore, for you to be able to trust him to be that point guard and for him to have 10 assists last night?
Yeah, for us, the way, we've always gone about developing guys, part of your development is actually getting playing time, and so when you play freshmen, they're going to make mistakes. I think, again, this year with our team, we've been able to, have a successful season in terms of wins and losses, but, at the same time, you look at our young guys and, they haven't hurt us. I think that's a big thing. That's been a big thing for us because, young guys, they make mistakes. They can hurt us in a number of areas, but that hasn't happened this year. But, when Marcus was a freshman, so that's part of his development, is really just getting comfortable playing at the next level. There's going to be an adjustment. It takes time. It's a process, and so last year I was really happy with the minutes that he got. You could see it that he was going to be, that he was going to be able to step into that role, and I was excited for him. And so then you come into the sophomore year, obviously we're counting on him a lot. And so that next evolution of his development then is to lead the team, understanding, we went through a lot this year, understanding how teams are playing him and what's available offensively for us. And then at the same time, too, he has really stepped up, a number of times this year and made some big shots down the stretch. And again, that's another thing that you have to develop into, and the best way to do it is just in-game and experience. And he's done a really good job. And, the Millersville game, he made some big plays down the stretch, and so he continues to get better there, and he's only going to continue to get better. He's a phenomenal person, and he's an unbelievable hard worker. He's in the gym every day. He was in the gym again this morning, and he's constantly working on his shot. It's one weakness he's had. He continues to get better. If he keeps on working on it, he becomes a really consistent shooter. He's going to be a really good one for us in the future.
Looking ahead now, you guys get a quick turnaround due to how this conference tournament is formatted. play tomorrow at East Strasburg. So what, I guess, is kind of that preparation with it being a short notice and where you're going now with it when it advanced?
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes this tournament so tough. Our last regular season game's on Saturday, and then playing in the first round, we had Sunday to prepare for Monday. Now we have Tuesday to prepare for Wednesday. There's not much time. But, for us, our system is in place. We have the personnel. So a lot of it's just going to be, it's just been tweaking, what we want to do, defensively, how we want to attack teams offensively in this one day. Like, we won't play anything live in practice today. We'll run a little bit to get the lactic acid out of our legs. But then other than that, a lot of film, going over a lot of things, like going over East Stroudsburg sets, how we're going to defend it. So more of just try to get our legs moving a little bit, and what we're going to do to prepare. But, going into this East Stroudsburg game, it's, like that game in February we lost to them, that was a tough one. So we definitely feel like we can win. I think the biggest thing for us going into this game is I think it's the 3-point shot. Like, if we come out shooting well, that's going to be good for us. But in the first game that we lost to them, I think they made 10 threes. In the second game we lost them at our place by 1 point. They made 12 threes. So we have to take away the 3-point shot. We can't let Morales get off like he did here. We're going to tweak our ball screen coverage to take away the pop threes from their forwards, to try to limit those. Because I think if we can hold them to 7 or less threes, I think we'll have a chance to win. It's a tough place to play. Their crowd gets into it. But, I'm looking forward to it. This has been a great group to coach. We got a lot of high character individuals. I've been really enjoying it. And so I'm just appreciating each day I got with them. And, I feel super confident in these guys. And, they're playing free. They're playing with a lot of joy. If we can keep it going offensively, I think we have a chance to beat them tomorrow.
And, Coach, looking back on that game, you guys had a 7-point lead at halftime. Was there anything else besides the 3-point shooting that you felt like you could have maybe done a little bit better in the second half that could have led to?
Yeah, I think, but it's crazy because Lakeem McCallie, if you look over his career, this year's a little bit different, but he doesn't shoot a lot of threes, and he's never shot them at a high percentage. And the last 4 years, he's always seemed to make some big ones against us. It's insane. I think we were up 6 when he hit that big three with about 2 minutes left. That was a tough one. But I think, we're going to adjust our screen coverage to take away that pop three. I'm looking forward to it, and I think we can do it. Because I think if we take away his threes, we take away Griffin's threes, I think that, and we take Moran's threes away, I think that's going to help us. And so that game here, it was frustrating. Obviously, like, Cole Parr got a technical at a bad time. McCallie hit that three in the last play of the game. We were trying to switch ball screens. There was some confusion, and Griffin got open for three. So it was just some minor things. I think Marcus missed the front end of a 1-on-1 there. It was about 3 minutes left. So we're right there. We know what we can do, and I told the team before that game this was our time, and I think the basketball gods said we weren't ready. But I think this time going around, I think this is our time, and I think we'll catch them tomorrow.
All right, Coach, I had one last question before we let you go. I think this is the first time I've gotten to sit in on an interview with Coach Namolik. So, Nick and Colin, I just wanted to ask a question here about passing down some of your coaching knowledge to some of your former players. We cover the high school season here in the Eastern Panhandle, and I noticed that one of the assistant coaches for the Washington Patriots is Zane Kogan. And it's of note because I took Justin Namolik's Principles of Coaching class in the spring of 2020 with Zane Kogan. And
was Zane in the class? Oh yeah. I can't remember if Zane was in that class, but yeah,
he was. But just what it means to hear when former players that or anyone that's taken that class of yours even that becomes a coach later on, what that sort of means to you.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that because I think too. Isn't Tim Potter the head coach at the Musselman for the girls?
He is.
And I think he was in my coaching classes as well. I always enjoyed teaching the coaching classes while I was at Shepherd. I love coaching. Teaching the principles of coaching class, the psychology of coaching class. I always enjoyed it. I think and for me as a coach, it's crazy just how many of my former players do coach. Zane coaching now. one of my former players, Naeem Muhammad, is the JV coach out his alma mater, North Point High School. AJ Carr, who played for me, he had an opportunity. He's worked with George Washington. He had an opportunity with the Lakers. He's actually with the New Orleans Pelicans G League team down there in Birmingham, Alabama. So coaching, I think all my guys, you would ask them, my relationships is what, why I do this. Playing college basketball is a special time. It's no different with, Zane at Washington High School. Playing high school basketball is a special time in one's life, and as a coach, being there, because it's all about me, like making sure, our guys have a great experience. I want them to have a great experience. This is a special opportunity. I wanted to make the most of it. So, we try to do things the right way. Over the course of career, maybe I wish, I definitely wish we would have won some more games, but, when I know that we did things the right way, when you see guys having success and, they're appreciative of their time, that means a lot to me, going to guys' weddings, seeing them become fathers, and husbands, there's been some crushing losses that just sting, but when you see that, this is what life's all about. And so just to be a small part in their life has been fun. And, what I do like, it's interesting because I've seen Zane and talked to him a little bit. It's kind of funny, though, the one thing when you see your former players start coaching, they start to understand the frustrations that I went through when they played here. And so I always get a chuckle out of that. But, I wish Zane nothing but the best there at Washington. I know the basketball in the Panhandle is extremely tough, and, they're doing a good job out there at Washington.